Oh, we're back with another video that nobody asked for. My name's Finley Mowat, or Finn. It's the cool guys call me. But yeah, today I'm gonna break down. Sorry, just noticed I don't have sheets in my bed. They're in the wash. Okay, sorry. But we're gonna break down my latest single with Berta Kennedy called Untuck, and yeah, it's turned out quite cool. Berta really made it into something that sounded pretty average at the start, and now it sounds pretty cool. So it came from an Instagram video that I made back in probably February or something, which was when I started doing wee videos, and this was the first one, and in reality probably the worst one. It's kind of rubbish, but Berta saw some potential in it, and it's completely different to what it used to be, but we made a tune out of it, and it sounds quite good. So I'm just going to go through that and probably do one video on the beat and one video on within Pro Tools on how I did the vocals. And to be honest, I'm no expert at this, but it's just what I did. Sometimes it sounds okay. So, yeah. Should we do it? Get into it, yes. Okay, this is the session. It is pretty cool. Right, so this is... Excuse me. This is the session. To be honest, I went through a few variations, so there's probably a few sessions of this. Pardon me. A few sessions with different ideas, and like the original MIDI and the original percussion that I recorded in and stuff. But I think I bounced most of it out and made this new one for new ideas. So there isn't as much processing and stuff going on in this, but it is just kind of showing you what I'm doing through the tune and what's going on. So I think, in my personal opinion, the most interesting or layered part is like the melodic aspects. So basically the chords, the arpeggiator, and that wee rhythmical thing in the old drop. So yeah, I'll just play through this and then I'll break it down. So this is just what the chords are doing. Cool. So, the chords are pretty simple going through, and then the main kind of ones, the one with the most beef, are these roads. But this sounds super like rubbish piano, to be fair. They've got a bit of reverb, they're going through like this old tape emulator thing by Waves, and they've got a bit of stereo width on them. And then they are layered in with this like electric piano sample from Operator. The Rose really has most of the body. So yeah, that's that. And then that is then layered on with this old RM20 instrument thing that I bought. It's also a MIDI instrument. It's pretty cool. You can kind of hear that going on, and then we go here, and the nice R&B keys with the wee twinkle in it. That's gonna go through your ears. Do you know what I mean? I think originally I put on like automated panning when I first made those keys, but That is in another session, I'm sorry. So, yeah. It's quite cool because they all kind of fill this like mid-high frequency range and all kind of contribute to this overall nice chord sound. And then that is then paired up with this and this, which are two arpeggiators. One of them is just like a sine wave, and one of them is this thing. And left and right, give it a bit of space. Kind of feels like it's in the back of your head. But yeah, the main thing that's going on in this whole bit is just, yeah, what I was saying right there, like where it's situated in your head or in your ears. So some of it feels like it's right back here, and then some of it feels right close. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like overall, it's just like the positioning of where you put it, and that kind of gives it this huge sound. Yeah, because if it was all situated in the middle, a lot of it would get lost. So, yes. And then this bit, this wee track here, steals the show later on. So that's kind of in the drop part. But that, yeah, totally gives it more variety and a bit of a head nod, you know what I mean? Lovely. That's pretty much the keys. A bit of reverb and this free plugin called Wider by Infected Mushroom, and it literally just makes things, I don't really know how it does it. I think it just kind of, I'm not going to explain it, but it just pans stuff out loads so that you do get that effect of it being like, whoa, back here. But that's pretty much it. That and some reverb and some EQ, but not loads. Okay, let's go into the drums. Also not super interesting. Let's just have a listen to what they sound like together. Cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, the main drum sound you hear is a drum loop from one of the Count's packs. Where is it? Yes. That's the original drums, and I just popped them in. I think I just popped them in as like an idea, to give me an idea, but I was like, actually, this guy's better at producing than I am, so he's made better sounding drums than I have, so I'm going to stick them in. It's okay to do that. You don't have to make your own drums all the time. So that is really what's giving it most of the energy. And these are all kind of percussion loops. Oops. And these are percussion loops. Nice bongos. Snare. Another snare sample just to beef it up. Lovely. Some claps. I think I chopped this one up originally. Give it a bit of swang. Yeah. And that all together is quite good. And then when it goes to the wee breakdown bit, the big feet, big socks part. So it pulls it all back and then comes back big here, everything together. Lovely. So that goes on nicely to the bass because you could hear that thumping right when that came in. So there's 3 different bass sounds here. A kind of sub bass, a Monarch, which is like, look, oh, there's me. JK. So we got on the bass, this sub bass, this kind of sampled instrument, and then an 808 which goes through the verses. Just gonna give it a bit of variety and change it up a bit, and it made it sound a wee bit more light and boppy instead of this bass. So yeah, let's go through this one first. This is the sub. Beefy. But a big thing is, if this wasn't on it, it would sound pretty farty. Yeah, just it's weak, man. It's not interesting. So a bit of compression, saturation with a decapitator, beefy setting, micro shift, slap bass setting. Don't know what that does. Let's just kind of slightly pitch shifts things out. So that with these together, so we've got like the growl, and then we've got some character with this one. Wow, wow, wow. And really what the Monarch's doing, I don't think it's got any processing. And then when we get to the verse, we've got this 808, just some EQ and compression on it. But yeah, I didn't want this to be too, I want this to be quite clean, just so Berta's vocal could sit on top of that a bit nicer instead of this huge bass. Okay, that's the main parts. So in reality, the song is pretty much there with these drums. Chords, bass, drums. Not so fast. There's some ambient stuff in there, which add just a bit of depth and character and niceness to it. Like I'm pretty sure I use this bird ambience thing that I recorded. I was at my window. It's lovely. It was during a lockdown evening, and I recorded these nice birds. Isn't that nice? And it's in my sample pack, which is £5. This other ambience, some ocean waves, a bit of rain, a bit of this kind of crowd sounding ambience. But they're just really low in the mix, but they're important. And that with all these other textures just kind of give it the character it needs and kind of keeps it moving and gives it variety. So there's a load of sweeps and stuff. Cool wee sounds like that. And then when we go into the final drop, it's got this. Oh, and it's got some fills too. It's cool, isn't it? So, in reality, if we took that out, and the ambience, when we go into this new section, it'd be perfect. Boring. So, ambience fill, textures back in, let's listen. Cool. That's pretty much it, to be honest. It's alright to have one chord sequence go through the entire thing. It's pop, baby. We had that. That just gets bung into the old arpeggiator. That's what you hear here. It's just those chords going up and down. You bung that into this. But altogether, that's the same chord progression, but just manipulated in loads of different ways. And that's alright. Yeah, and I used a drum loop. But we got a song out of it, and it sounds quite cool. So, but yeah, we'll talk about the vocals in the other one. But shout out to Berta, because she made this into something cool and interesting. And it was a pleasure. Right, that's me done. Bye. I hope that recorded. Oh, my face is white.